All right. Today, this is episode 2 of A Gin That Talks. Before, in the previous episode, it did not have a name. Now, it is A Gin That Talks. We're sitting down with Fendy Hermawan, the legendary UGA student who threw the stuffed animal on the basketball court in the Mississippi State game. The year was 2018. We're also sitting down with Jack Podlesny. 2019, sorry.
Okay.
All right, and we're sitting down with Jack Podlesny, the current starting UGA place kicker, who is here to announce his official recommitment to the UGA football team. Jack Pod kicked the game winner in the bowl game in December, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and we have him in here today. So let's get to it. Let's figure it out. Jack, tell us.
Jack, wait. Make your
up?
announcement.
Yeah, make it.
All right. To all the fans, UGA community, I'd like you guys to know that I'm staying at the University of Georgia.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's go.
So for any sports publications out there, the podcast is called A Gin That Talks. And Jack Podlesny announced his recommitment at A Gin That Talks. Thank you very much.
If any other college football players would like to be interviewed, we will take you.
Kenny would also like to bring you on a date.
If I'm still single.
Whoa. Dang, Fendy. He said which is yes.
All right, Jack, tell us
Fendy's
about
being mean
how you started kicking. So Jack's from St. Simon's. We grew up together. Tell us why you started kicking, how you ended up at UGA.
Yeah, I'll bring you along in my journey. Jack Podlesny, better known as Jack Frost. So 8th grade year, I had the idea presented to me whether I was going to run cross country for the JV team for high school or I was going to kick a football in middle school. And I told my mom that I did not want to run anymore, and so I was going to kick. And my best friend, Mills Ridings, got me out there, and I just started kicking and thought I was pretty good at it. So I went into high school, and freshman year, did okay, didn't really play. There were people in front of me. But after that, I didn't play sophomore year because I wanted to focus on soccer, possibly play college soccer, real athlete in me. Junior year came around, and I thought, why not go back out for the football team? Made a lot of good friends there. And so I went out, and probably 2-3 weeks into the season, I was just over-kicking myself because I was kicking for the football team, and I was also playing soccer for the club team. And I ended up tearing my right hip flexor. So I was out for that season, but got to come back senior year and play one last season with my boys. And lo and behold, last game of the season, Final Four, we were playing Lee County, Michigan. Special teams coordinator was there, Chris Partridge, and he saw me kick off, and I got a PWO from Michigan the day after. I was at Pirate Formal, actually, riding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
And after that, I just had offer after offer, 6 total ones, roll in.
Bars.
And UGA was actually the last one to offer me a PWO. So I finalized it between Michigan and UGA, and I just could not pull the $60,000 out of state from Michigan, so I decided to go to UGA. Go Dogs, baby.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. All right, Fendy, let's hear a little about yourself.
Me?
Yeah, tell everyone who you are, why you're here.
Best friend.
Fendy's one of our best friends.
So is
He made a public apology about the game that's in the past. He wasn't here for that. We didn't even think about that until now, but Fendy's a cool guy, funny guy.
Cool. Thanks, Luke. I'm Fendy. I have been in America.
Fendy, what's your last name?
Hermawan. Yeah, and I've been here for about 10 years now. I moved from Indonesia, and I grew up there, and my family and I left everything there, and we moved here. And I started going to middle school, and now I'm in Georgia. I'm in 3rd year. And 2 years ago I made a mistake, and that was that.
Sorry to rehash the past there, but
Thanks, Luke. We will not talk about that anymore.
yeah, it's been said. Charlie, will you shut that door?
Yeah, there's 2 cats fighting outside right now.
We're also sorry to the people out there listening. We're still trying to work out the audio arrangement. So yeah, we're trying to do a better job with it, trying to get everyone headphones. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. But doing the best we can.
Indeed. I think of Fendy and Jack in the same way.
I agree.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Both great guys.
context.
Yeah.
Both great
I'm
guys.
lost.
Love the Lord. Love sports, man.
Yeah. So Jack, tell us the highlights of the season. What are your favorite parts?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take you back to the beginning. Probably, I mean, number one highlight was just finding out that I was becoming the starting kicker for UGA. It was just unbelievable to know that I'd put all that hard work and dedication in, and it paid off. I mean, it was unreal just to experience my first ever field goal starting as the UGA place kicker. And from there, I would say when I went 3 for 3, I was perfect on the day. And I think like 5 for 6 on touchbacks against Tennessee. I mean, that was just unbelievable experience. And I mean, I got to cap it off with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl win, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
They gave him a jacket and everything.
So,
53-54 yard field goal.
So you kind of blew up on social media, on Instagram. Everyone's talking about it. What was it? I remember coming in freshman year, there was a lot of hype. Just you were on the team. Then sophomore year, it seemed like it kind of died down a little bit. I remember we talked a lot about like, everyone is asking you, what's it like to kick with Rodrigo? What's it like to hang out with Jake Fromm? No one's asking you like what it's like to just kick, what you like about it. Now it's kind of changed a little bit. So what's it been like personally ever since you started starting?
Yeah. I mean, from the beginning, it seems like all the hype was around, I'm playing football for the University of Georgia now. It wasn't about maybe like who I am or like who I am emotionally, who I am spiritually, that kind of stuff. It was all based around earthly things like football. And so coming into freshman year, I knew I wasn't going to play because Rodrigo was here. And I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. Go around with Stefan all the time, and he'd introduce me as Jack Podlesny, but he plays UGA football. No one would believe that. I mean, you look at me, I'm scrawny. And
I think it was the first freshly. It was before we were even in the same small group. I like sat next to Stefan on accident in the service, and he goes, "Hey, I'm Stefan. This is Jack. He plays football at UGA." I was like,
Whenever I first moved in next to you guys, the first couple months, had no idea you played football. No clue. But
yeah, I see. That's what I kind of want, like people not to know that I play football and just know me for who I am.
yeah.
But I would say it was tough, like sitting behind Rodriguez, who's such a good kicker, because you kind of like lose value in who you truly are. But as this year progressed, I kind of tried to remember like who I am as a person before who I am as an athlete. Because I mean, people were coming out of the woodworks messaging me about every game and my kicks and all this stuff, and I just wanted to remember who I truly was.
So Charlie, everyone's known Jack since before he started starting. Charlie's the only one who didn't know him. What was your expectations coming in?
I've known one other D1 kicker, and he kicked at Clemson. And so I was I was comparing the two. Like, do all kickers have the same kind of personality? But Jack's much nicer, much better guy.
Thank you.
You got to give credits to your brothers too. You got to go ahead and put those facts out there.
Yeah, like
They played college.
they played football. Yeah,
College football.
yeah. But you played soccer, and so like, do all kickers? I feel like all football kickers have a background in soccer.
I would have said yes until I got to UGA, and I found out that one of the kickers played lacrosse like before football, and then one of the kickers played baseball primarily.
Okay.
It's pretty.
so they like did baseball and then just started kicking after that.
Yeah, and Jake Camarda actually.
Really?
Yeah, he played
That's
baseball.
He never
crazy.
kicked a ball before.
Well, no, like
He's never
so.
even seen a ball before.
I would say he grew up playing baseball, like little leagues and stuff, and then like obviously as he matured and stuff, he started to punt. But like he kept playing baseball through those years. Like he played high school ball and everything.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
sick, though.
So what's your favorite part about the team aspect and like coaches? I know it's favorite thing and least favorite thing, and then maybe like hardest part.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say like one of my favorite things that I can think back to this, like specifically this season, about the team like as a whole, whether it was the coaches or what, was our special teams coordinator coming in, Coach Cochran, and he kind of just changed the whole mindset of not only the special teams room, but the entire team in general. Kind of just a win, but also have fun, like a fun mentality instead of like win, win, win. There's no rest. Like that's just, it's not fun. I'd say least favorite thing. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this.
You kick the game-winning field goal ball game.
It'll be
I think
fine.
you're fine.
Least favorite thing. I mean, it's not my least favorite, but I would say sometimes there's like disconnection between the coaches and the players. Like coaches, yeah, they say to an extent they understand what we're going through, but they're not like always there for us, like emotionally, mentally, stuff like that. And what was your third question, Luke?
It was hard. What was the hardest thing?
Oh, hardest thing was probably like staying, like it's always been like keeping a positive attitude. Like it always comes to an extent, like at first, like you're on a high, like you've done all this good stuff, but in the middle of the season, like, yeah, you're still performing where you are, but like it's nothing new to anyone. So it's not like that's expected of you. So one screw up and people are coming through for your throat. So that I would say that was the hardest thing, is keeping a positive attitude.
You're also kind of not in a bad way. I actually really admire this. You're kind of a hermit. You don't like leaving the house that much. So what is it like when you have all these people, you have like 300 texts after game, people coming up to you out in public buying your food? Like what's...
I will have to make this clear first. No one's bought me food yet.
I know.
That's
That's
against NCAA regulations. Just wanted to make that clear. Yeah, I mean, thanks for calling me a hermit, Luke. But yeah, I do like to stay to myself. I'm a very individual person. I don't like going out much, like hanging out with people, especially this year. COVID, you know, gotta stay away.
No COVID in this school.
Wait, should we tell them what almost happened?
Yeah, we can.
So I woke up on Christmas Eve with COVID. My parents recently moved to Athens. So up until Jack left on the 23rd, I was still in the house with Jack. And
distance from me, not like on top of me.
Yeah,
but still
not on
hanging
top
out.
of him, certainly.
Y'all did movie night every night.
Yeah. We watched some football movies, and Jack was able to explain to me what's going on.
What football
What was your
meant?
favorite?
Yeah, it was. I lied. We only watched one football movie, and it was Safety.
Okay.
But anyway,
That
so
was good.
it was all right. Kind of cheesy, but
Yeah, I
still-
thought it would be terrible. Just like
it was
on the
inspiration.
trailer.
It was just cool watching it with him.
Was it the Tim Tebow one?
No.
And
It
he's on
was
Instagram
I
right
don't know.
now.
Anyway, so I got COVID on. I pretty much was positive the
December
23rd, but then woke up with no taste the 24th. So I called him and said, I got COVID. I knew he had the bowl game coming up, and so
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'll be fine. So I went home, spent a few days with my family. I had to come back to Athens on the 26th, and I had a COVID test 6 p.m. about, and got tested, everything was feeling fine. And I wake up at probably like 6 o'clock to 4 missed calls from the team doctor. And I thought to myself, oh, shit. And I call him back, and he says, Jack, I am sorry to inform you, but you have tested positive for COVID.
I did not. Wait, what?
I
did not
didn't
know
know
this.
So I text him. I say, oh my gosh, who do you think gave it to you?
I said, no shit, Sherlock. Who do you think gave it to me? So I went in, and I just told him my history, that I had it back in March of 2019 going into spring break. And so I didn't think I got it again. But after that, they tested me 3-4 times repeatedly in 2 days. And they also drew blood to send up to Boston. And
Wow. So the bowl game almost didn't happen?
Shout out Boston.
exactly. So the bowl game wasn't about to happen.
I did not
And
know this.
I tested negative repeatedly, so I was clear and able to come back. And
All because of
practice.
Luke Fusatola.
That's right. I would have had some people coming after me if
Yeah, there would have been no game-winning
Yeah.
kick.
So you tested positive and then negative.
Yeah, I tested positive once because it was an instant test, so there's that variability that you can test positive. And then I tested negative 3 times in 2 days, I think.
it all worked out. Here we are now.
Here we
Wait,
are
like
now.
were they like
Jackpot.
the nose tests?
Oh, yeah.
She had those like 3 in a row.
Yes, sir. I'm probably up around 100 tests.
I bet you've had
this
so many
entire year.
tests.
Oh, yeah.
Tell him about probably my favorite. I used to always ask Jack, did people come up to you ever since you started starting it? Has anyone come up to you? Has anyone, recognized you, blah, blah, blah? Tell him about the girl in your class. That seemed really sweet.
Yeah. So Luke always used to, I don't know whether he was joking with me or.
No, I was
being-
serious. I'm
being
very jealous.
serious. Whether people had come up to me and known that I was Jack Podlesny, like I kicked at UGA. And it had never really happened. So the first time, I'll add this in here, the first time it happened, I was in Brunswick at Publix, and some guy kept eyeing me down for probably a minute. So I was like, okay, this is just straight up weird. And then he came up to me and goes, hey, are you Jack Pod? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, great game, man, great game. And gave me a fist bump. Didn't know who the guy was. But then I was in my environmental health issues in the developing world class. And a girl sitting at my table goes, are you the kicker? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, I just want you to know you made my senior year.
Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
Yeah.
What?
You made a
And
girl's
she go-
whole ass senior year.
and then tell him what else she
It's
said.
like-
And then she goes, and my mom, I mean, she's your biggest fan now because you just went after and just prayed after the kick.
Did
Oh
you,
my
every
God.
Glory
old
to God.
every old
Sweet.
person in Georgia after when they saw Jack kneel down was like
Did you see that tweet
what was
that
it?
I sent y'all? It was this guy, and he's like, Jack Podlesny, walk on at UGA.
That's it.
What is it?
yeah, yeah.
Winning
Like,
kick of the game. What does he do?
Yeah.
What does he do? He prays.
celebrates.
No,
Yeah,
he just said
or,
he
yeah,
prayed.
I remember
Which was great.
going on Facebook after that game. Like I really go on Facebook until I know something that my old people friends are gonna love. And they were lighting it up, dude. Talking about Jack
Yeah.
praying. I was like,
I called my aunt, my uncle played for UGA way back in the day, and I was like, oh, are y'all watching the game? Like, she was like, oh my gosh, your roommate, he kicked the game winner, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, and he prayed.
Like, what an awesome
sweet.
platform,
Yeah.
honestly, to be able to do
Yeah.
those things, That's really cool. It's great because, people ask me, oh, yeah, you're friends with Jack Potter. I'm like, yes, and I can genuinely tell y'all he's one of the most humble people
Yeah.
I know.
Thanks, Kenny.
Which is really cool.
Thanks, Parker.
You're welcome.
I have a question. So I've always wondered this about kicking and football. So I get you gotta be team players. You gotta maintain good morale on the team. But if a kicker misses, is the team mad at them?
I
Is it awkward?
okay.
good
Mad? No. Awkward for myself? Yes. I
Okay.
mean, I had some of the biggest supporters that always had my back on this
Yeah.
team, like Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, Justin Schaefer.
Yeah.
Shout
no
out,
matter-
come on the podcast.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I got you
Jen
guys.
that talks.
No matter whether I missed it or made it, they were always there, right after for me.
That's so sick.
We
Okay,
need
cool.
more blue checks in here.
I was just curious. Yeah, this is our first of many blue checks.
Blue check.
I was just curious though, because I always watch those games. And I'm like, is it I see they all get support, but there's gotta be two guys who's really pissed off at them. And they're like,
Yeah.
can't believe we did that.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
those too. I just don't know about
Yeah,
them.
that's cool. I'm glad.
Do you have any pregame rituals? What's the process?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm as ritualistic as Rod is. Rod's
Skittles.
Skittles. Yes, Skittles.
Do you puke?
No, I do not puke.
You're so nervous.
I get so sick when people puke before games. That's something I would
I
definitely do,
hate
I think.
puking. No, I don't know. I only got nervous really before one game ever this season. It was my first game starting against Arkansas. Every other one I didn't really have the butterflies. But I mean, the only rituals I ever had was I would call my 707 Bible study leader.
Wait, what?
David Herndon.
Also, my 707
Yep,
Bible study leader.
Also Luke's. Before every Saturday before the game.
Shout out David.
And so we would talk and he'd pray over me, and that was my
dope.
only
That's awesome.
ritual.
Wait, I have a question. Why'd you call David and not Kenneth?
Ooh, we got David Kenneth drama.
Some beef. We got some beef right here.
Yeah, you guys get an
Kenneth,
exclusive
if you're
look.
listening, man.
I don't know. I don't know. David offered one day, so I
okay.
took him up on the offer.
Kenneth,
Kenneth
I
must
will
have
say,
shot.
Kenneth, I love you
he-
still.
the only time he ever texted when you kicked the game winner, he texted in the thing, jackpot or something.
Yeah.
And then I was texting him and he said, we need to get lunch with Jack.
Would you say that you treat every kick the same?
As Coach Smart once said, every kick matters. But
Really?
No way.
I mean, it's crazy. I would say I like to treat every kick the same, but I mean, sometimes they seem like one matters more than the other. I will tell you, it's very surprising, but the game-winning kick, I do not remember thinking about anything, which I guess is a good thing. I was really only focused on my breathing, and I was more worried about the kick prior to that one than I was about that one.
Interesting.
Why? Because it was like the fear of it's
Because-
shorter.
Because the score then was, if I remember correctly, 21-16. And there wasn't much time left on the clock. I mean, maybe 6 minutes. And I knew that it was 4th down and like 4th and 5 maybe. And I had to make that kick to put us within like 2-3 points. And if I didn't, then we might be screwed, like royally screwed. So that one, I don't know. I guess I thought about that one a lot more, so it made me more.
How
feel
far was
pressure.
that one? Do you remember?
31 or 32, if I remember correctly. And the one before, the first one was 37.
So when they're like calling on the field, it was 54, right? The game winner.
It was 53 and a half.
It's 54. We round up.
Could
There.
have
So
been
54.
55, 56.
So
Yeah.
like,
What do you
are you
think?
like? Do you know you can kick that far? Like at
Yeah,
this
I
point?
mean, so like before every game, I have my distance and I tell Cochran, the special teams coach, what my distance is. And before that game, I said I was good from 54, 55 yards.
Okay.
I will be honest, at first I wasn't hitting solid balls in warm up, but as it progressed, I started to feel it like better and better. But I wasn't having like too much confidence in myself, but I knew that if I relied on the basics that I could probably hit a clean solid ball from probably more than 55. And so
I remember you told me, I think it was the first game, you flew back, you got in really late. I was still up, or it might have been early the next day. But I said, like, what was your proudest moment or whatever in the game? And you said about how the very last, like, kickoff, Kirby got in your face and said,
yeah,
I don't want anyone getting injured. Make
Yeah,
this a touchback.
Kirby, like literally after I just came off my second field goal of the game, and Kirby came up to me for kickoff and he goes, "You better boot this thing through the back of the fucking end zone." He goes, "I do not want anyone injured." And I said, "Yes, sir."
Yes,
Wait,
Captain.
you kicked off that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kicked
That
off
was
for the
first,
first 3
yeah.
games.
How was, were you nervous or was it just kind of fired you up a little bit
It kind
when
of
he gets
fired
in your
me up.
face?
Yeah,
Alright.
usually
Fired me
usually when he gets in my face, I'm just like I don't really like it, but like it just pisses me off. So I guess that kind of helps.
Yeah.
I think.
Shout Kirby, come on, let's
Yeah,
hash
come
this
on,
out.
start. Third, it'll be our second blue check. We're
Yeah.
gonna do a blue check counter. I'm excited about
Kirby's
it.
gonna
Yeah,
get in
it's
here.
not about the blue check. It's about the man or
That's
the
right.
woman.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but we want some interesting people in here.
Just to shift gears a little bit back. This is what people
Shifting
like,
gears.
Shifting the gears. Something that like I think people want to know, because like we can look up stats all day long, like we can talk about the games and stuff. Like back to you as a person, like what are things that make you tick? Like what are you passionate about? I know like your family, you're huge on, your faith, you're huge on, and the environment.
Big
TikTok.
time.
TikTok.
Tree hugger.
He's a big tree hugger.
tree.
His
I'm
birds.
with you, Jack.
Hey, he needs a new pair of birds.
I do need a new Bear Burke. Shout
Just
out to the
everybody.
sponsors.
Just everybody. But like,
Sponsored by Bird.
yeah, like tell us a little bit about that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a little bit about what I'm passionate about. I mean, first of all, LaCroix, you know, love LaCroix.
Wow.
I'm
Sorry-
super
sorry-
sponsored.
Charlie,
sorry
what
about
is
the
LaCroix?
Get that
LaCroix.
out of here,
Hey, wait,
bro.
what's
Two
LaCroix?
different sparkling waters in here.
I do have a dog. Her name's Bear.
I love her.
Bear.
I'm super passionate about her. Love
I'm
her.
her aunt.
Yeah, Kenny. Prior to this, Kenny never really liked dogs, and you know, shout out to Bear because she changed her. I don't know. I'm just, as you said, like I'm super passionate about my family, faith. But it comes down to just really like being who I truly am, and just making sure that like everyone knows who I truly am, like not just like what they see from the outside.
Sure.
Amen.
That's good.
Well said.
I got a quick question. What are like your like goals with football? Like, where do you want to go with football? What do you think it looks like?
Yeah, that's a
the
good
rest of your
question.
Career and stuff.
At first, I mean, I came to UGA as a student, and I always have cherished that. But as time progressed, and as I guess I got better and I started to play, I started seeing more of the future in football, which if you would have asked me senior year of high school, freshman year, sophomore year of
I was like,
college,
sophomore year, like last year,
I would have told you, heck no, I would not be playing NFL.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it just seems more realistic to do. So NFL would be awesome. I graduate in the fall of this year. So I guess maybe make a decision like after the fall, maybe go to grad school, get one more season under my belt, and then declare. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me just yet.
You're pretty much open to
Open to anything.
whatever.
It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
maybe I'll hang up the cleats by the end of the fall and just
Yeah.
get a job.
Yeah, finish on top.
What kind of job?
Environmental consulting, baby.
Don't
what
you?
you are?
I
What
feel
is
like there's
that?
Lobbying? What are we talking?
We're talking about like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, oil company wants to mine oil on this certain piece of land. I've got to go and I've got to do landscape, make sure that there's nothing, like they're not going to go into the ecosystems, they're not going to harm that, stuff like that.
So I feel like there's one person we need to talk about. We've kind of hit all the bases. Anyone have any idea who I'm talking about?
Fendy?
Fendi.
No.
Like
Someone
still,
who's
still
not
on
here.
Jack?
Still on Jack.
Oh, let me think.
Just at least drop the name.
Stefan?
No.
His girlfriend?
Yes.
Aw.
Oh.
Sorry, Emma
Emma
Rose.
Rose. Yeah, Emma
He said
Rose.
he
At least
love
I'm
you,
thinking
Emma
his
Rose.
dog.
and the environment.
Yes,
before that.
ladies,
Yeah.
he is not single.
Yes.
Not even a little
Is
bit.
anyone
Look at him.
wondering?
Thought I was gonna stay on the
His-
market.
Yeah. Yeah, Emma Rose. Tell us a little bit.
Man, you put me on the spot here, Luke.
Yeah.
We can specify the question a little bit.
Tell us, so y'all started dating 2 weeks or something before you started. So I feel like
Yeah.
your life might have been quite different if
Oh, my life probably would have been quite different if I hadn't started dating Emma Rose before, I guess, what you put in quotations, the fame hit.
Fame.
But, yeah, we started dating 2 weeks prior to my first game. Well, no, actually, let me think about that. Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to
You
think of
told
when.
me it was like a
I'm
month.
trying to think of when my first game was. But yeah, like the funny story about her is I had asked her out on a Friday, and the day after she tested positive for COVID. So I didn't see her for
You got bad
two straight
COVID luck,
weeks.
my man.
I know.
Interesting.
Okay. I got another. The cameras are still rolling, audio's still going. This is all good things. You almost quit last December, correct?
Correct. This is unbeknownst to the world, but
Sorry, I should have
No, you're
asked.
good.
Out
Official
there.
announcement.
Yeah.
Official
Jack
announcement.
we can
Almost
edit
quit.
if
Yeah.
needed.
No editing. Tell us
gosh.
about that.
yeah, I don't know. I just like it seemed like my passion for football was really dying, going into sophomore year, and then throughout sophomore year, school kind of picked up, and so that took up most of my time. What it seemed like, and football was an afterburner, which it still always is because school comes first. You know, student
Of
athlete.
course. Student athlete.
But yeah, I started losing passion. I didn't think I was truly that good to play. I was just my morale was low, and I had made up my mind that I was going to quit. So I went back home, told my parents, and they weren't very happy, but they were going to accept the fact and support me 100%. And then I went to the Sugar Bowl, enjoyed as much of it as I could, and came back and decided I wasn't going to quit. I wanted to stay at least one more year and hang out with my friends on the team and get to know them better.
What changed your mind?
That I knew I was leaving behind such a good community that I would have missed out on completely if I didn't stay, and that I had so much opportunity to change my life around staying on the team, but not only that, change other people's lives.
How much of it was not quitting because of your parents and because of the way you were raised, or do you think it was just because you liked the people on the team and
Well,
doing
I
it?
would have probably told them sooner than that, but I had really contemplated thinking my mom was a Division I athlete, or I guess
what'd she play?
she was Division III, but she was still a college athlete. She played lacrosse and field hockey at Catholic University, and then my dad was a Division I athlete at Old Dominion University, played soccer. So that was kind of holding me back at first, thinking I'd disappoint them. And so, but finally I just made up my mind, you know what? It's my
Charlie's
life.
probably going to be Division 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charlie's quite an athlete as well.
Yeah. She's a big runner.
Big runner.
Big runner.
Yeah. Soccer's a lot more fun than running. So is football. So is literally everything else. I don't know why you waste good athletic genes on running, but Charlie, you do your thing. Get after
Go
it.
girl.
I was curious.
Yeah.
You were talking about like the community, and I know like Rodrigo has always been like super supportive of you. And I was wondering, like, obviously, like there was a big game recently, and I didn't know if you talked to him since then, because I know he's always supported you. I didn't know if you had the chance to like call him up
Yeah.
and support him.
So,
those tough situations.
I guess this is another ritual. Going back to Kenny's question, Rod would always text me before every game a certain Bible verse, and we just kind of like hash it out, like text me like what he was seeing in that, like in his life about it, and I would text him back and be like where I saw it in my life. And so he texted me a verse before the game, and I texted him back, and then he was like just electric after the game, was blowing up my phone, like texting me nonstop. And so he's just always been a big supporter of mine, and hopefully we're going to be able to continue that next season. But also I'm looking forward to hopefully training with him this off season.
That's sick.
So
That'd be
Where we all
great.
go.
Go up to Indy.
probably not. It's too cold up there. I'll probably meet him in Atlanta.
Good point.
You can go build some Lego sets.
I could.
Watch some Star Wars. Hey, look. This
There's
is
a
one
cat
of the
in here
mini
now.
cats. This is Brit. Oh no.
There's like
We
9
have,
cats.
There's 5
in this
cats
house.
in this house, and this one is the grumpy old man.
My twin.
I think
yeah.
Fendy said he has a question.
Finny, what's
I
up?
got a question. So, basically, do you ever think that this has always been your journey? Like that this was always be the path for you? Because Rodrigo was undrafted, and look where he is now.
Right.
You know, he's one of the best kickers in
Right.
the country. And you didn't think you were going to make it, and you were going to quit, but you didn't. And look where you at now. Do you think there's always been a path?
Started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a firm believer in that. Like, God's got a path laid out for me, and I've got to follow that path to a certain extent, especially the fact of I think he places people in my lives for a reason, and that things happen for a reason. And I think that struggle freshman, sophomore year of college was meant to build a stronger character out of me and to know that I could be a better person and that I could grow, whether it was in my faith, emotionally, mentally, whatever.
And what do you say to the people that are lacking confidence? Like the kids out there who are lacking confidence, do you think that they will definitely make it, or that it's okay either way, that they don't make it, but they somehow learn a lot of experience from it?
Yeah, I mean, even if they decide to give up through the journey, I think they need to know that they've given their all. Because I think once you know you've given your all, that's the the best thing that you can do.
Yeah.
It's funny the line of questioning. I feel like it's funny the way you are. How it seems like you. We've talked about this before, but how you don't have that much confidence in yourself. Like not even as a kicker, but just like as a human being, you know. And that's contrary to what most people think, because you're a good-looking dude, obviously. Smart guy,
It's
goes to
getting hot
UGA.
here.
Yeah. Anyway, but like myself, I feel like I have too much confidence. And
God.
look at me. Like I'm end up doing the podcast in my parents' basement. You're the UGA kicker. You don't have that much confidence. So why does that happen, you think?
I don't know. I mean, as Fendy was talking about, like the journey and everything, I think that confidence has always been a struggle of mine, but I think that God has placed those significant events or even the most little events in my life to teach me how to build my confidence, you know, because I definitely can say that since freshman year, I have grown probably exponentially. So
I think that like a huge part of that too is like I think God also like gives us like support systems, and I was kind of curious, like who would you say like is like your support people, like maybe like your 5 people that you're like would take with you anywhere now, like they've been with you through this experience?
I mean, like I would say my mom, number one. Like my mom's like my freaking rock. And I would say after that, it would be my dad and my sister, and then it would also it would have been my grandfather, and then he passed away in November. So he was definitely like a huge supporter of mine. Like he towards the before he passed away, he was stuck up in his room mostly and would sleep most of the day. But when we had a game every Saturday, he was glued to the TV. Like his eyes were wide awake, and then when the game was over, he'd fall right back asleep.
It's amazing.
So
That's
I would
so
say
sweet.
like my family is just like my rock and my biggest supporters.
How hard did that? We didn't talk about it much, but
Yeah.
he died in the middle of the season. Y'all were quite close.
Right.
You had to go home and everything in the middle of the week. And how did that affect you?
It was tough. I mean, in the moment, it really sucked. Every death sucks, but to know that he was going to be in heaven watching over me. And as I said, Kirby told me that every kick matters. In my head, it was every kick mattered, but it was my why. My why was because I'm going to finish the season and go out on a bang, like for my grandfather.
That's
incredible.
awesome.
I know he was watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Pete told you.
Oh, yeah.
He's very proud of you. I just know it.
Awesome.
What do you think? Sorry, I had a question before it slipped my mind. What was your confidence level in high school versus now? Because you were still you're the same. We knew each other in high school. Like
Yeah.
you're talking to you, you're the same person. Nothing changed. But
I
where do
mean-
you think the lack of confidence started? And then
I like to say that I like beat myself up a lot over little things in high school, whether it was a grade or whether it was like football, soccer practice. I don't think the origin is from my mom, but my mom definitely didn't help when she would like say I'd get like a 92 on a test. She'd be like, "Jack, that's not good enough." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we all
The
know.
teacher in
Like we
her.
all
Yeah,
have
I'm about to say,
we
yeah,
all
the
have those
teacher.
parents. Like, it's not good enough. Like you need to have 100.
I think though that that y'all got a different. My parents, I think my two brothers were so smart. They never had to do anything. Than me, I'm failing classes, and then
Gosh.
here I'm at UGA finally though, so it worked out all right. But
Yeah.
go Dogs. But anyway, they didn't push that stuff the same way or they never had to before, so I guess they didn't know. But I think that behind every like grade person is some crazy parent. Not that saying that like none of us will be. Sorry, I don't
Yeah.
think any of us had like crazy parents, but like if you look at a lot of famous musicians, athletes,
There was someone pushing them. There's
Someone's
someone behind
pushing
them.
them. Yeah.
Definitely like an intense parent.
Yeah.
If not crazy, like. Yeah.
intense, yeah. But did they push you as much with sports, or was that kind of your own thing?
I mean, just kind of like as I said before, my dad played soccer in college, and that was truly like what I looked up to. I was like, dang, like that's what I want to do. Like I want to like play soccer in college, and to know that I could give it my all. I wasn't always the best soccer player, but I knew that I was working hard and that I like just gave it my all, and I was there mentally too all the time. And kind of realized that I was losing my fire for soccer, and football presented itself, and I was good at it. And I said, I mean, if there's a talent, might as well take it and run with it.
Yeah.
So
How important to you is like keeping goals? Because like you said, like you would like think about like I want to end the season with a bang, like for my grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, are you always thinking like, what is my next goal? Kind of, I'm trying to complete.
yeah, I would say prior to the season, I wasn't really a goal-oriented person. Like, yeah, something would come up and I'd be like, okay, like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve. But when Cochran came in, that's what his number one focus was, is like, you need to write out what your goals are, because if you see them on a paper, you write them out, you know what you're thinking, and you're going to achieve those.
Right.
And so first thing I did was I went home, I bought Expo markers, and I wrote on my mirror like 3 like small goals that I could like achieve well, like easily, and did them by the end of the week. And so I just kept on doing that throughout the season. And on top of goals, I would write like motivational stuff.
That's
So-
awesome. And something to apply to like every area of
Yeah.
life too. Like that.
Like it wasn't just football. Like it was like, okay, like go meet someone new today or something like that.
Is it alright if I'll throw up a picture of the mirror on the gram? That's a good. I feel like a lot of girls do that. They write, "You're beautiful." No. I'm saying, but that's awesome though. Like,
It's like yeah.
Yeah.
I walked
I
in
know.
your
I think
room one
everyone
day and
needs
I
to do
saw
that.
that and I was like, that's cool. I was like,
Yeah,
I
'cause
like
it's not like
this.
you're-
Yeah.
Right.
you're handsome. It says like I've seen it before. It always changes, and it says
Yeah.
uplifting things and
What
stuff
a
that people need
tangible
to hear.
way to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you think like those comments bring up your confidence?
I would say yeah. Just like it's like what I truly try to do is I like once I write them down, and then like say the next day goes by, I wake up in the morning, I go and brush my teeth, and I like obviously I'm looking into the mirror, so I read what's on there, and I just kind of like think, okay, those are my values, like that's what I want to go back to like throughout the day. And so say like something's not going my way, or just randomly walking to class, like I'll just pop in my head and be like, oh, like this is what I need to do today, or this is what how I need to think, like positively, not negatively.
Yeah.
Do you feel like basically everybody's looking up to you, that you owe them this, that you really have to do this for them?
Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but I do not look at it as it that way. Like I just try and focus on myself and do it for myself. I'm not doing it for anyone else.
It's
Yeah.
a great way to look at it.
Yeah. You can't carry the weight of the world
Yeah.
to
Right.
shoulders.
I hate when people judge celebrities by their like personal lives, not by the art form or like what they're doing, or like it's like they have to do this and they have to do that. It's like no, like they don't owe you anything. Like no one, like no performer, no athlete. You know, I mean, obviously it's great when they do. Like LeBron, he's a great role model. I mean, Federer's a great role model how to be like a sportsman.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, they don't owe us anything. So, but it's cool that you.
But if they didn't have us, they probably wouldn't have a job, you know? Like
It's very true. Yeah.
professional
True.
They
That's
better
true.
be good.
True.
Oh, man.
That's a good point. We were talking about this in my philosophy class today. Just talking about how like why we like idolizing athletes. I think it's dicey when it becomes about more than football. Like I love that you want to use your platform to like show who you really are and like what you really believe and share that. But I think when us as like spectators get an expectation from like a celebrity or an athlete about morality, when it's like you don't watch them because they're a moral person, you watch them because they're good at football. Like I think when people get really let down by that, it's disappointing because it's like why do you have that expectation in the first place? I don't know.
Who was it the Office guy that he hosted the Oscars a few years back?
I don't know.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, he was
I love
like,
that
everyone
guy.
like shut up, like just get your award and sit down. Yeah.
But I think if we did look at it more that way, where it's like these are just athletes, you know, I think when they do like when you show what you really believe in and like show what you stand for, I think it's even more, I don't know, admirable because it's like we weren't asking for that.
Yeah.
But in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, I feel like maybe celebrities and athletes do feel like we're asking for it, and it's good that they support these things, but it's almost like if we didn't expect those things and you still came out and was like, this is what I believe in, this is why I'm doing this, like I think that'd be even more powerful.
It's funny too though, because people, I mean, you hate to see like Justin Bieber yell at a fan or walk away from an autograph, but at the end of the day, like when no one knows what that's like to have to deal
Yeah.
with that
Right.
your whole
Only human.
all day. Yeah.
It's probably why so many have like breakdowns. They can't
Oh,
meet
yeah.
this like unrealistic expectation of being a perfect human.
Yeah.
True.
Jack, you're gonna next semester's gonna
Maybe
be
one
crazy.
day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you
Gonna
gotta, but like the
snap.
fact that you're doing
Yeah.
it for yourself and to show your skills.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from having 2 years of not playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you've been playing for those 2 years, you got people who knew you in high school, who they stayed close to you because they knew you were this guy.
Yeah.
And now they have this expectation. It's like you got to forge your own path, and it's working out for you, and you get to stick with it. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
One thing I never think about, I love like dissecting people who are really good at something, like on like Tim Ferriss. Like I like listening to how does one who's a world-class performer get to where they are. And I never even think about like you are great, like you're one of the best kickers in the nation.
Appreciate it.
Like how does that happen? How much time did you put into it?
Yeah. Like when it comes down to it, you're gonna have the talent, and like you're gonna be able to perform on the certain level. But what separates you from good and being great is your mentality, and that is what I think. And I truly think that is one of the reasons why I am the starting place kicker, is because I was able to change my mentality from when quarantine hit, when COVID hit, that I was doing this for myself and I was going to be the best of myself. I was going to work my ass off. I was going to do whatever I could do just to become the starting kicker. And so I worked every day at it.
What did that
Whether-
look like? Like the daily
I mean,
schedule in quarantine?
Like I'd wake up 8 a.m. I'd go into my garage and I'd work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then it was really like we'd meet probably 3-4 days a week over Zoom. we'd discuss film, we'd talk about the upcoming season, stuff like that. But it was truly just changing my mind, changing the mindset to know that I'm going to be the best who I can be.
How much were you kicking?
I would say over quarantine, so from March till I came back to Athens in July, I probably kicked a total of 10 times. So not many.
Wow.
That's crazy.
You know,
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You said you're not a very confident guy, but you made a complete U-turn and made yourself one of the most confident
Yeah.
guy in the world. So basically, like right now, you're one of the best kickers in Georgia, or the best kicker in Georgia. I'm behind Young Wei But I'm just saying that, how do you, like, personally handle all that pressure? Like, when you kick, how do you handle the pressure?
I think everyone handles pressure in their own ways. Mine's been quite different, I think, than most. I really like focusing on my breathing. That's really
cool.
Is it the 6 second
it's
thing?
there's a couple breathing techniques that I've taken close to heart. The two of my favorite ones are box breathing, which is breathing in for 6 seconds, holding that breath for 6 seconds, breathing out for 6 seconds, and then holding that breath for 6 seconds. You guys should go and try it. And then
Jimmy's doing it right now.
it's kind of hard. Like at first it's very difficult. Like you have to focus on it like a lot. That's why it's good, because that's all you're focusing on is your breathing. And then the other one's 2 seconds in, 4 seconds out. It's like a 1-to-2 ratio because you don't want to bring as much oxygen in as you're releasing because it's exciting, like the capillaries.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Breathing is
medicine.
people don't.
No,
People
they
sleep on breathing.
yes, they underestimate breathing.
It's
Yeah.
kind of amazing.
You can like
You know?
release like there's a way to release DMT in your brain just through breathing. Obviously, you don't. But I'm just saying, like if anybody's trying to get a natural high out there, go YouTube some
breathe.
breathing
Go
exercises
breathe.
and there you go.
Yeah, have you guys ever heard of like when an exciting event happens, like so exciting that right after or maybe a minute after you like completely black out for like just a second, like you're still awake and everything, you're moving, but you completely forget what's happened. After that Peach Bowl kick, I remember kicking it. I remember looking up like at it, and I think most of the other team knew, like most of the other players, like the line and the holder and the snapper knew that I was going in, but I still wanted to watch it a little bit. And once I realized, I turned and ran. And as I was running, like that's all I remember. Like I do not remember a second after.
Dude,
the
that is
next
so
second
good.
I remember is like walking on the
Is that the
sideline.
highest you've ever been?
That's
Yeah.
Mountain.
naturally.
That's high on life.
So it was pretty crazy.
That
That's
kick was money,
awesome.
dude. I was on the phone with I think it was Jeff, our other roommate.
It's so cool to hear like all
And I was like
everyone's
watching,
experience watching it.
You're lying. And as soon as you kicked it, because I was in Macon, and it
Yeah.
was like me, Evan, and like a bunch of our friends and stuff. And I lost my mind, dude, because I knew it was going in
Dude,
too.
yeah.
My dad called me. And a bunch of people from back
everyone's
home
got
were
like a
calling
different
me.
story of like when they were watching it or like
Yes,
all
it's
this
so
stuff.
sick.
Or,
That night, so we were at Evan's house, and her little brother like went to a party or something that day, and he came back and he was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Oh, yeah, the kicker, that guy's roommate's at my house." I was like, people were bragging about me because I'm your roommate. I was
Oh
like,
my
"Let's
gosh.
go."
Yeah, my favorite was my call from my grandmother, and she said, "Did you see what your friend just did for our Georgia Bulldog football team?"
For our country.
Serving.
So
Hashtag
fun.
in pod we trust.
So glad I have you.
Talking about like confidence, like, do you ever? So like, I'm sure like you're confident in practice and stuff because it's practice. But like when you go to a game, do you ever have to be like, I am a good kicker, like I can do this?
yeah, like trying to gain confidence and stuff. I always know that it's in me.
Yeah.
It's just how I can tap into it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's more of not like to repeatedly kick. It's like make sure that I know that I'm
Right.
good enough to like kick it in, but it's more of like stopping what I'm doing, like just standing there for like, it doesn't matter how long, but just standing there kind of calming down and knowing like what I told myself before the kick, like before I went and started warming up, but I knew it was going to come down to a game-winning kick. I like squatted down and just looked down at the ground and I said, I'm here for a reason. I said, I've made it this far and there's a reason why I'm here.
Right.
So
I think
That's
that
so sick.
comes back to, do y'all ever talk about in philosophy of part of taking philosophy of sports and games,
Mhm.
Do y'all ever talk about meaning to
Games.
life and everything like that in that class?
Like in sports, you mean? Like the relation?
yeah, like why do we like play sports?
Yeah, we actually talked about that today. Like, what's our fascination with sports?
Yeah.
And I think a lot, like the book, like we read a chapter from a book, and a lot of it comes from like, I mean, our lives is built around challenges, and like in like a leisured society, like we just build challenges for ourselves pretty much every day, and to see somebody do it excellently, like I think inspires something in us to like, I'm gonna go do that thing now, and it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And we keep coming back to watching it. And like as an athlete, you have like a tangible way to challenge yourself every day in practice.
Yeah.
Or challenge yourself in a game and like see how you make it in those big moments. And I think that's what we're like kind of all looking for, is like trying to see how we would handle a big game like that. And you have
Yeah.
a tangible way of finding that out. I think you really learned a lot about yourself in those moments too. Like how you knew, like, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
Like that takes into any challenge you face the rest of your life. Like, you know, if I could have made that kick under that kind of pressure, like I know I can do this now.
Yeah, like the crazy thing is like I know I can still do better. Like I can get better.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's not a finish line. It's
Right,
a
you just
motivator.
grow.
Right. That's huge.
What do you think you'd do? Say you went into, say you didn't take a job out of college. You do end up going to the league. You kick till you even, let's be ambitious, you kick till you're 45.
wow.
What do
okay.
you do after that?
People do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Who's that
Adam,
dude for the
Adam
Colts?
Vinatieri.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
like
He's a beast.
60.
Yeah.
Really
I think,
old.
I think he's around 45, 46 right now actually, but he's done. He's out of the league. What do I do? Gosh. I mean, I would say first thing I do, like that's tough. First thing I do when I sign my contract is I'm going to buy my parents a house. After that, once I'm done, once I'm out of the league, I would say, you know, right now it's not, but prior freshman year, you'd ask me, and I always wanted to do the Peace Corps. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Go into the Peace Corps for
That's
2.5
awesome.
years.
Yeah, heck
Yeah.
Go see what it's like. And I don't know.
What,
I
like
got
go to
time.
like Africa or somewhere?
Yeah.
And
Some
Save
third
the
world country.
environment, you know?
Yeah, and
That'd be awesome.
I'm sure it'll be decided by then, Kenny. It'll already be
Oh.
saved or it won't.
oh gosh,
I mean,
It's
Luke
up to
had some
you.
really interesting conversations last
Yeah.
night about
that's for
First-
another podcast.
Yeah.
The
First kick
countdown.
on Mars.
First kick on.
What if you
Yeah,
kicked the
that's- I
first
just
football
don't-
on Mars? You
Yeah.
think that would be the biggest?
Oh, that'd be
Like-
the biggest
That'd be a
accomplishment of my life.
feat.
Yeah.
I think it would be.
Flips his most bowl games.
What would it do? It would just kind of float. It would keep.
I
it
don't-
going.
know what's
what's
the
the
gra-
gravity?
what's the
I think
gravity
there's
on
less than
Mars?
Earth. I think it wouldn't leave the atmosphere. Or there is no atmosphere on Mars. I don't think it would.
Would you go to space if you had the opportunity?
No, I don't like heights, so like
Thank
it
you.
scares me. Because like,
I would if we had been going for like 50 years.
oh yeah.
Because I'm like, think about
Then
like
trust it.
if I was one, and especially like if I was gonna be one of the first people there, like think about who else is trying to go to space. Like
There's
it's
a
like.
lot of people.
Crazy.
But it's a lot of people who are like crazy. Like it'd be
But
like
in a
people
good
who
way,
have
kind
no
of.
attachments to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
but
no relationships with people. I just think it would be like a weird scene.
But think about all the people in the like Christopher Columbus and
He
like all the
sucked.
old
He
no, I know, I'm
sucked.
just
Got
saying,
canceled.
again back to the like
The
Shout
aspect
out
of
cancel
time
culture.
just
Yeah.
like creeps me out. Like in
Oh, that's
space,
so
like
trippy, dude.
being
Yeah.
in space for 2 years or
Yeah.
something. Like, what are you
I
gonna
think
look
that's
at?
I think
You're
it's
just
sort of
gonna
in our
sleep for months?
blood to like we're pioneers. Like we're the species that no
Christopher
species
Columbus.
before us had spread out as quickly as us.
You got canceled. I agree with that, but like,
It's just in our like
and that's cool. But I'm just imagining the 5 other people in my tiny rocket ship to Mars for the first time. Like, I don't. That's. Gonna
I'm
be
not
a,
saying,
that's a
like,
I'd
weird
yak
crowd.
all over them.
Yeah, dude. I like it here.
Think it'll be a lot-
last on Earth.
probably be a lot better by the time we're old. Like obviously all the people on the Mayflower that probably sucked.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
glad that they
like,
did
I don't
it
want to be the
'cause
people on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
I want to be the people like 50 years later.
I hear that. I mean,
Like
yeah,
us
I'm
as
with
we
you
are
kind
now,
of.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in space.
Yeah, I want to get frozen and then go to Mars because I don't want to sit on a ship for 2
Forgot
years.
Luke's gonna live till he's 200.
You can get your conscious switched over.
That's
to another
even
body.
better.
He wants to. He literally wants to be.
does.
Elon
If
Musk,
we had-
come
if
on the
we had a
podcast.
blowout.
Donald
Come on,
Trump, come
Elon.
on the podcast. Now that let's
You
hear
won't?
about
Your
Florida.
time has been freed up. So.
Go play golf with Charlie. You can play tennis with me. We could live it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, man.
I just want to talk to him.
What would you ask
Closing
him?
remarks. Closing remarks.
Then he's got
Fendy's
somewhere to be.
Okay,
He's
I'm
got
gonna
a
say
hot
this
date.
now. Fendi, you ask incredible questions, and you are
I
a
think
great
so.
podcast host.
You're
Yeah.
a
You
great
better
friend
stay on the
too.
podcast.
You're
asked
a
the
great
deepest-
friend, and you're
yeah.
more than your abilities, but you're great at this, and I want you to know that.
Fendi spent his
You're welcome,
winter
Fendi.
break in Bali with his
That is a better life
family.
than all of us. That's all I'm gonna say.
He said we're all invited next time. So
Do you mean that?
Podcast in Bali.
Were you lying?
No,
What's Bali like? What's your favorite thing about Bali?
it's awesome. I mean, no one's there right now because of COVID, but
All right.
it is very nice.
Was it warm?
Yeah. Nice. Warmer than here.
would you ever
Yes.
move
No.
back there? You're from Jakarta,
No.
right?
I would
Jakarta.
not- Yeah, I would not move back there.
I also want Joe Biden to come on the podcast. I just want as many blue checks as possible.
That's the bluest check. That's the
I
largest-
suppose that is the bluest of the
literally
checks. Not the bluest, but Joe Biden, get in here. We'll mask up.
Joe Biden's not coming on our podcast, dude. I'm gonna let you down easy right now and say Joe Biden's
We'll all
never
get
be
the
in this
vaccine
room.
before you come.
Yeah, maybe one day.
We could kidnap
Here's the
him.
deal, though. You
Oh,
go.
shit.
Okay,
No.
no.
Let the
we're
record-
not doing that.
We're not-
No one's ever bought him a meal, and no, we're not doing that. Okay, so you go to the NFL. You sign. Here's my proposition. You sign to the Jags, right? You're like an hour from home. You got your boys back on the island. You got your family back on the island, and you kick for my boy Trevor Lawrence. The
That'd be
hometown.
Oh, is
Sick.
he's your boy?
He's yeah, we were best friends in high school.
Yeah, that was-
in Cardinal.
I don't know
I
about
was
that.
Parker's first blue check follower.
Yeah, so Trevor Lawrence is my first blue check follower. Jack is number 2.
Wait, y'all really were friends, weren't you?
I knew him.
Okay.
They were acquaintances.
I like to tell people we're
Yeah.
best friends. He definitely knew my name at one point.
Like he picked Parker's wedgies. Like that's how close they were.
Oh, that's intimate.
I've never heard that said
Pretty
before,
intimate.
but that's something. Is that what you and Stefan do?
Sometimes.
Hey, Stefan.
You think Stefan's watching this?
No.
I don't think.
I hope not.
We should
If-
get Stefan on here.
If anyone hung on
Oh,
this
it's about
long,
computers.
again, God bless.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Thanks, though.
Should we wrap it up?
God
I
bless.
got a closing remark for Jack.
Say it.
So, Jack, if you make it to the NFL, remember this, all right?
All right, I'm listening.
You're gonna get criticized badly, but just remember that none of that matters. Like we're the one. that
Thanks,
matters.
Fendi.
Amen.
Oh my
Fendi.
gosh.
Thanks,
You're
Fendi.
so
Thank
good
you.
at this. Penny, you're a sweet friend.
All right, next week we'll be sitting down with we don't know who yet, but be sure to tune into it. We're gonna get a good guest. Maybe Jack could have some suggestions, or but yeah, let us know who y'all want to have on, or if you think yourself you should be on, please let us know.
Follow
Yeah,
us
you
on
can come on
Instagram.
the podcast, we don't care.
What is it? A Jen that talks.
A Jen that talks. Biden, Harris, get in here. Trump, come on. We want everyone.
We'll have a second debate.
Biden
Yeah.
and Trump
We'll
at the
tell
same
each-
time.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
tell them like they're gonna come in on different dates and they're in the same room, and we just lock the door.
Be
and
like a
deal
like
with it.
Nickelodeon show when the friends or that no that happened on Hannah Montana one
Whoever
time.
loses, they have to get slimed. This is gonna be like a
Slimed,
Nickelodeon show.
yes.
We will slime the
That's
president.
great.
Another shout out to Luke's parents for letting
Yes,
us
thanks,
use
Mr.
this
Yes.
place.
Mr.
Thank
Jimmy.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy and Scarlett.
Yeah.
Jack, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank
for
you.
He's
having
gonna give
us,
us so
guys.
much clout.
We appreciate it.
Seriously.
I hope so.
You and you heard it here.
Jack, you know
Officially,
we've been-
Jack is coming
we've
back.
been
This is
friends
his
for-
first podcast.
Official.
I'll be back. Dogs fans.
Yeah.
Is that something we should say? Yeah. Big news, Jack. What's the big news of the week?
Jack, I don't
I'm
know
on
these-
scholarship, baby.
For real?
Let's go.
Let's go. Congrats, brother.
More money.
More money.
No
All right.
meals. He
All
doesn't
right,
do
Jack
that.
All right.
Frost is out.
This is
Jack
a
Frost
Jen
is
that
out.
talks.
The pod era has
Yeah.
begun.
Football.
The podcast.
The podcast.
That was fun.
That was fun.
good, guys.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks,
Jack.
for having me, guys. Good day.
We appreciate that.
That was fun.
All right, I gotta go.
Fendi, you're awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Fendi, that was fun, dude.
Fendi, you're so good. We need to bring him back. Fendi's amazing.
Yeah, Fendi, come back anytime, man.
podcast gets for
He's a guest emeritus.
we gotta get a picture.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.